Palmer has now lost control over 2 of the 4 senators whose votes he could promise the government in trying to get its reforms past the Greens and Labor. Jackie Lambie has been disloyal and was dumped as Palmer's Deputy Senate Leader. She now hints she'll join a new party for defence veterans.
I'm seeking parliamentary and legal advice as well, and just making sure that if I was to leave, that it is all done in a respectful manner.
Palmer has also lost control over the motoring enthusiast Ricky Muir, who with Lambie this week reversed his vote on government reforms to the financial advice industry. Palmer attacked them both for welshing on that deal he made with the government.
We kept our word, whereas Jackie Lambie broke her word and Ricky Muir did the same thing.
Palmer will also have less time to control his last 2 senators because he's now battling court action from his Chinese partners over $12 million they claim he wasn't entitled to. Palmer denies that, but won't discuss it.
Well, I'm not interested in it.
I wanted to ask you, if you're a public figure, Mr Palmer, the audience has a right to know what's happening in legal cases against you.
What a mess. Joining me is Family First Senator Bob Day. Thanks for your time.
Good morning.
Now, how much harder has the government's job just got in getting stuff through the Senate?
Well, it's changed the dynamics somewhat. Some might say it's got easier because now they don't have to negotiate with one bloc first, and that was the Palmer United Party bloc. But so they're now basically 4 groups of 2, if you like, loosely affiliated. And rather than one group of 4. And then in the past, if the government could get the Palmer United Party and Senator Muir on board, then they had a reasonable chance of getting Senator Lionhelm and myself on most of the issues that they have been promoting.
But now they haven't got that block of 4 that they can negotiate for. They've got to try to get 6 of 8 people running all over the place. The power now is in getting a block of 3, isn't it? That with 3 senators together, if they join with the Labor Party and the Greens, they can block everything. You and David Leyonhjelm, sort of from the Liberal Democrats, make 2. Are you looking to get... what are the chances of you getting Jackie Lambie on your side?
Well, look, I get on quite well with Senator Lambie because South Australia and Tasmania, we have a lot in common. And I can certainly understand her concerns about her state, some issues in particular about Tasmania. She's keen to have hydroelectric power included in the renewable energy target, which makes good sense because there's a lot of manufacturing in Tasmania with aluminium and so on. South Australia and Tasmania are in difficult financial situations, so we often talk about those sorts of things so we can work together on issues related to our state, and I think it's a good thing that senators act in the best interest of their states sometimes rather than the best interest of their parties. So certainly we have some commonality of interest along those lines.
So is it too early to say that the Clive Palmer experiment, this blazing comet in the sky, it's over, his power is broken?
Oh, I think that is too early to tell. But like you say, 3 is the magic number. With 3 senators banding together, you can block anything, providing Labor and the Greens oppose, which they seem to be doing. But let's see how it goes. Look, I've been encouraging Senator Lambie to try and sort out her differences with her colleagues. Senator Lazarus and Senator Dio Wang are both very, very good people. And as the Chinese president said, or said of him last week when he came, if you want to walk fast, walk alone. If you want to walk far, walk with a friend, and you need friends in that place. So I would certainly encourage Senator Lambie to see what she can do with her colleagues.
Oh, I don't like that advice, Bob. I'd rather she look to you and David, but never mind.
Well, whatever, yeah.
The government is travelling badly, Bob. Now, you used to be a member of the Liberal Party and now you're with Family First, obviously. What's your take? Why is the government travelling so badly?
Well, I think, look, the Prime Minister, Tony Abbott's doing a good job, I think. But look, the strength and success of any organisation is its second line. It doesn't matter whether it's business or politics. And in governments, it's the strength of your second line. Now, it was said that Bob Hawke was a good Prime Minister because he had a very, very good second line. John Howard had a spectacularly good second line. You know, Costello, Minchin, Anderson, Reith, Vanstone. There was a very, very strong second line there. And I think that is the key. Prime Ministers do what they have to do, and Tony Abbott's done a very good job with the G20 and APEC and those sorts of things that you expect your Prime Minister to do. But that's where the focus is. His government will stand or fall on how successful and how good his second line is, and that's his ministry. Well,
you're implying that some of those people in that second line aren't up to scratch. Which ones are you singling out?
Oh, look, that's not for me to say, but I'm just making the observation and stating the golden rule that that is the key, and that's where it'll all happen for. I mean, obviously there have been some standout successes in the Cabinet, and look, that's not for me to say.
Bob, is one of the problems here, it seems to me the government's been a little timid in advancing some of its prime causes. We can talk about the free speech issue, for example. It backtracked on that. It doesn't quite dare call out the global warming scare, for example, as well. Do you sense that as a problem for the government, that it hasn't actually been able to articulate an alternative narrative other than we need to repair the budget?
Well, look, you know, it's, I think some of the bigger issues, I mean, I campaigned on every family, a job and a house. You know, if every family had a job and they owned their own home, then most of the problems that we see in society and in the economy would disappear. So the fundamentals, I mean, it's a conservative world out there. You know, I'm a conservative, and Family First is a conservative party, and we're realists. We know what works and what doesn't work. We don't like to substitute the things that work for the things that just sound good. And I think if the government focused more on those grassroots, fundamental conservative values that most Australians support, rather than some of the peripheral issues, I think they get a lot more traction.
Well, I'm interested in the success a couple of days ago of UKIP. It was branded as far right. I think that was going too far. But against a bland conservative government, it has now won, despite all the media demonisation of it, its second seat in Parliament in a by-election. It is far more out and proud a Conservative Party. Have a listen to its winning candidate, Mark Reckless.
If you believe in freedom, if you believe in low taxes, if you believe in an independent Britain, then come with us and we will give you back your country.
Strong message. Should the government take a cue from that?
Most definitely, because if they don't, somebody else will. And like I say, it's a conservative world out there. The conservative vote of those sorts of things of freedom, low taxes, small government, you know, property rights, free markets, every family a job and a house, those sorts of things are very, very important to people. And it seems like the Conservative Party in Britain has abandoned those things. And UKIP have jumped into that space, and they came first. Now, they have a first-past-the-post system in Britain, and they're now taking this seat, and the general election in Britain is only 6 months away. This could be a real game-changer for politics in Britain. And also, look what happened in America recently. There was a real move towards the Republicans. They had an absolute whitewash.
Thanks to the Tea Party thing. Look, I agree with you, Bob. The government could be outflanked by a new force on the Conservative side. Thank you so much indeed for your time.
No problem at all, anytime.